All right, guys, today we're going to do our last 2-point perspective project, and that's going to be a 2-point city. And you're going to make this up on your own, or you can find a photo of a city shot in 2-point perspective if you wish, but it's just as easy to make it up on your own because the buildings, well, they're just boxes and odd-shaped boxes. Now, I'm sure you can probably see that I have drawn a pencil version of the city here, and I'm going to go over it in pen and talk to you as I go over it. If I skip places, don't worry about it because there's either a building there. Well, actually there's a building there. That's why I'm skipping places. So there you go. So in this one, I did it horizontal. And for a 2-point city, horizontal is probably your best option because it gives you a little more space to draw in. So here's my eye line is gonna be right here, like that, and like that. All right, and then my vanishing point is going to be there and there. All right, and like I said, I'm skipping over buildings that I have drawn over the eye line because I don't want that pen line running through my buildings. All right, now when you draw streets or roads on a 2-point perspective city, you end up in a 4-way stop with your street. So let's get this one lined up. And I may have to get my head in the way to see where I'm at as far as the road goes. But it's coming from the vanishing point right here. I passed it just a little bit. I didn't mean to do that. But that's where it's coming from, is the vanishing point. Okay. Like that. And we're going to follow that all the way back to the vanishing point, like that. All right. Now the other side, same thing happens. We come from the vanishing point all the way down. And like I said, I'm going to skip over where I have buildings already drawn. And when I laid this out, I drew a 8.5 by 11 rectangle, so it would be the same, pretty much the same size as most of your sketchbooks. So that's what I'm working in, is an 8.5 by 11, excuse me, 8.5 by 11 rectangle on the page. Okay, so as you can see, one road comes from this vanishing point here, the other road comes this direction, and you end up with a 4-way stop right there. All right, now let's start adding buildings to the drawing. Usually I start here, kind of in the middle, and here's where I may get my head in the way a little bit so that I can see where I'm drawing. If I'm off just a little bit, that's just kind of the way it goes. All right. Okay, so we're good there. The buildings are coming to the edge of the street, so I don't have to do anything there. They're already, the bottom's already drawn. So let's draw this side of the building. And it just so happens that I put these two buildings right side by side, like they're against each other. So I can go ahead and finish that line, and that would be the center of the other building. So right up through there, that's the center portion of the other building. Now, just like your boxes, when you were drawing them in your sketchbook, we go left side, left side. So the top of that building, I'm going to the left side. And the bottom of the building is already going to the left side. And then I'm going to cut it off parallel to the center, which is going to be basically right there. And I already cut this side off parallel to the center, but I didn't take this part to the right-hand vanishing point. So I need to do that. Like that. So right side, left side, and cut that off and cut that off. All right. Now let's finish this building right here. So once again, left side, and then we're going to cut that off parallel to the center, right there. And then right side to the vanishing point right here. And we're going to cut that off. I made this an odd shaped box. So I'm going to cut that off right there. And then I'm going to go to my right side again. Like that. And then I'm going to cut that off parallel to the center also. Right there. All right. So this is an odd shaped box. I cut that corner out of the building. And I just take my eraser and get rid of that. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not, but right now it's still there. I'm not going to worry about it. I drew it lightly. So we're just going to leave it for right now. All right. Now, what happens when you draw across the road? Well, it covers it up. So here's the center point of this building right here. And I made this an odd shaped box or an odd shaped building also. So the rest of it went up and came this way, and that's the part I cut out. So I'm going to go to the left side right here. Like that. And I'm going to cut that off. Hopefully I'll keep it straight. There we go. And then this I'm going to take back to the right side vanishing point. Like that. This is close to the eye line, so that part of the building is going to be very thin. It'll have a shelf on it, but it'll be very thin. And I'm going to take this part to the vanishing point. All right. And then I'm going to go straight up again, because that's my new part of the building that's basically center. I've got this and this. And then I'm going to take that to the left-hand side, vanishing point. The triangle slipped. I knew that would happen one of these videos. That's why you draw in pencil, so you can just get rid of those small mistakes like that. There. All right, so there that is. And I'm going to go to the right side here. And the bottom's already drawn because of the street. And then I'm going to cut that off parallel to the center. Okay, I got one more line to draw from this corner to the vanishing point. And it should go right through that other corner as well. If I can line it up correctly, it'll do that. So let's see what happens. Okay, there we go. All right. So when I originally drew this, I just drew this building whole, and then I drew this one over the top, and then I just took an eraser and erased that. You might be able to see the street going through right there. It's very light, and I'm not going to take it out right now. It's not important at this stage. When I would finish my drawing and get it ready to turn in and all that kind of stuff, I would make sure I erased any lines that would possibly show up. All right, so let's finish out this building on the bottom right here. like that. All right, so there that building is. Now let's go back and put this building in place. Here's the center. And like I said, hopefully I'm straight up and down, because it's kind of hard to see over there. And then I'm going to be left side. And left side down here. See if I can get up just a little bit so I can see a little better. It's getting too far over there. Right there. All right. And then right side. That's a little better. All right. And I can come from the bottom down there. It's not going to be much, but it's going to be just a little spot. My triangle slipped again. I have this up on a painting easel, so it's kind of hard to hold the triangle sometimes. All right, so there that building is. And I've got 3 more buildings that I'm going to put in place just so you can see how they're done. This one right here, going to be there. And left side. And the bottom part where it's touching the street is the other left side. And then I'm going to cut that off right there. And then right side. And right side. Cut that off right there. And then I'm going to go opposite corner to the opposite vanishing point right there. And then opposite corner to the opposite vanishing point. And the street actually already drew that for me, so I didn't have to mess with it. If I had drawn this building a little taller, it would have been up here, and I would have erased part of those buildings. All right, so here's this one. I'm going to have to stand up again. All right, there's the center. Here's the left side. And the left side. I hope I'm not in the way. And then we're going to make that parallel to the front. And then here's the right side. And the street already completed my other right side, so all I have to do is cut it off parallel to the center, right there. And then I got to go opposite corner to opposite vanishing point. So right there and right there. And my triangle slipped a little bit on me right there, but that's okay. All right, and I put one more back here, so that this was a good composition, and I did all the things I was supposed to do. I had some regular buildings, I had some odd buildings, and then I'm going to have some buildings with some windows and doors. You don't have to do that to everyone, but just do it to a few. There. And cut that one off. And then here, we're going to do that. And then I'm going to go opposite to opposite. So opposite corner to opposite vanishing point. Right there. And my triangle's slipping. And opposite corner to opposite vanishing point. Right there. All right, so there's my city. Pretty good composition. There's enough buildings to make a good composition. Got some nice overlapping and got some nice buildings. Some of them are regular, some of them are odd. And I'm about to add a few windows and a door. Okay, so here's my door right here. And I'll probably put in my finished product a couple of more doors and maybe a couple more windows, but just for purposes of showing you, this is all I'm going to do. So the top of the door to the vanishing point, the sides of the door straight up and down, just like the sides of the box are straight up and down. Okay, and here's a set of windows up here. You could make individual windows, or you can do a bank of windows like I'm doing here. And all of these come from the vanishing point. You have to use your vanishing points. Okay, you got to use them on one side, and then you got to go to the other side and take them the other direction. So there, we're still on the vanishing point. So there that one is, and we're still on the vanishing point there. All right, so there's that building. We're going to put windows on this back building, and then we're just going to call it quits for the demo. Okay, so vanishing point here. There's window, vanishing point here. Vanishing point here. Where'd it go? There it is. Here. And here. And it just so happens that I laid this window on the eye line. Didn't realize I did it. But I laid that window on the eye line so it's straight, okay? And I just did both sides at once because of that. And then I just line up with that side, come to this vanishing point, and there's that one. And that one. That one, and the last one. Right there. All right. So there you go. There is a city that I made up in 2-point perspective with some regular buildings and some odd buildings and some that have windows and doors. And like I said, in my final product, I would probably put a few more windows and a few more doors, but all in all, good composition, good 2-point perspective. Make sure that you draw your eye line first, then you put your vanishing points second, then you start with your boxes. I don't know if you can see it or not, but the light pencil line is still there for my eye line, and the light pencil lines are still here for my road. And like I said, where this building's overlapping this one, and this one's overlapping that one, and that one's overlapping that one, those lines are still there. But I would erase them before I took a picture of it to submit it. Okay, so there's your 2-point city, and that's your last project in 2-point perspective. So good luck and do a good job.